So, welcome everybody. This is Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community call happening with Microsoft speakers, which is happening every single Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And today is February 18th. My name is Sushank. I'm a principal product manager at Microsoft, working in a community and open source areas and hosting these calls quite often as well, together with many other people, and doing some of the demos with many other people as well. Now, today is Tuesday, and it is 8 a.m. Pacific time, which means that it is the call with Microsoft speakers. And what we mean that one is that within this call, you're going to hear from the Microsoft people the latest and greatest what Microsoft thinks on how the products are being used or how they should be used. Now, we do know as Microsoft as well that quite often actually our customers and partners are super clever on using the products, and that's why we have other calls where our customers and partners can actually show what they built using our tooling as well. So that's why we have quite a few calls, but on this call, it's always Microsoft speakers. So it's PMs, engineers, cloud advocates, and so on from Microsoft side. Now, today we're going to go through a typical agenda on the Tuesday call. So we're going to recap some of the slides and some of the updates. And there are some slides which you might have seen in the past. That is highly intentional. There's always new people within this call, so we want to make sure that everybody are having the baseline information on all of the assets which are available to get started. We're going to go to latest news with Microsoft Blogs, which isn't that much actually this week. Seems to be a pretty quiet week or previous week. And then we're going to do a crew photo in together mode in Teams. So get ready for that one by enabling the camera when we get there. And we have 50 seats in the room, so only 50 people can be in that group, in that photo together. And we're going to share a GIF animation out of that then in the social media. Today we have two demos intentionally, so we have plenty of time for the individual topics. So David Abu is going to talk about empowering communities with Copilot Studio, innovation and collaboration. David is going to talk about that one first, and then we're going to transition on building Copilot agents with single sign-on. Super interesting topic as well from Nayana and Sushank, and they're going to cover that section in the end. And we do have a set only two demos today, so we have plenty of time for the demo sections as well. So we don't need to rush that much as we need to do every now and then if we have multiple demos or three demos. Now, quick recap on all of the assets which we have available for our community to take advantage. So first of all, we have our Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel, where we just broke 60,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And in here, we're really focusing on sharing new videos and guidance. Well, actually, even ignoring the YouTube algorithm. So what I mean with that one is that we do publish quite a lot of videos on that channel, which isn't actually recommended based on YouTube algorithms. I think last week we published 15 different videos on different topics on that channel. But we actually want to share and focus on sharing the learnings and sharing opportunities for you. So there's a lot of new content on that channel all the time. There's going to be at least one video published every single business day in that channel. So definitely a worthwhile channel to subscribe, and they stay up to date. Now, we do have our LinkedIn page and group for discussions and updates. Great way of staying up to date on what's happening. We have a lot of open source assets available, but as it might be a bit difficult to find the relevant repository or sample for you from those open source assets, we do also have our sample galleries, which are intended to make it super easy to find the relevant sample for you from one centralized location, or you can choose the specific sample galleries as well. Those are great options as well. A lot of URLs to remember. Luckily, actually only one, which is AKMS Community Home. From that URL, you can find all of these assets and a lot of other additional guidance to get started on the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. Now, as we started, I kind of mentioned something related on community calls already. Today, you are at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Tuesday call, which is with Microsoft presenters. This is happening every single Tuesday, except on holiday season in the Northern Hemisphere, which means the Christmas timeframe roughly. And then on July and August will be always on a break. And that's mainly because Microsoft presenters are not that available during those periods. So we want to make sure that we don't actually expect you to join on this calls either. Super clear, not on Christmas time and not then on July and August. On top of this, we have the monthly Power Platform call, which happens every single month. And that is happening actually tomorrow. So for February call is happening tomorrow, and typically that is with community presenters. Office Add-ins monthly community call happened last week, and that is with Microsoft presenters. So Office Add-ins product group PMs are always sharing the updated information on Office Add-in development. And then we have our 7 a.m. Thursday series, which is either Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community call or Viva Connection SharePoint Framework community calls. And in these, they are community demos. So actually our community members, customers, and partners sharing their learnings and what they built within these platforms. You can download all of these recurrent invites from AKMS community calls, and we always publish the agenda for these calls advance at AKMS community meetup. That is a great service. If you sign up for there, you will actually get an email invitations and updates whenever we're publishing upcoming calls, so you understand what is coming and what is the agenda within the upcoming calls as well. Now, for a lot of those calls, we actually mentioned that we do welcome community demos, which is a really, really important part of the work what we do here. So everybody is welcome to present. And these calls and presentations or demos are a great opportunity, for example, to get yourself to the MVP status or renew your MVP status, or just practice your presentation skills and sharing what you have built with other people in the community. The only thing here is that we do not welcome product demos. This is not about selling your product. This is really about sharing learnings and capabilities with other people within the community. You can definitely, though, for example, mention that, hey, this demo which I'm doing here, there's another video on this one in my own YouTube channel. Here's my YouTube channel and all of that. So we do welcome people to actually get credits out of these calls as well and these demos. So all of those things are definitely welcome as well. There's a lot of assets available to getting started in Microsoft Cloud in the Microsoft Learn platform, which is a free platform, so you don't have to pay anything for this stuff. There's a lot of modules for Microsoft 365 development and Microsoft 365 in general, and a lot of modules on the Power Platform as well to follow up within that platform. Now, we also have a lot of those samples. I kind of mentioned this already. We do have more than 2,200 samples powered and provided by Microsoft and community from one centralized location. So if you go AKMS community samples, you can easily filter down based on your interest at the sample. It could be Copilot Studio, it could be Microsoft Teams Toolkit, it could be, let's say, Dev Proxy, SharePoint Framework, and so on. And you can easily find the relevant samples for you. In those sample or the user details, we're listing the samples, and then we're linking to the actual repositories within the GitHub. So we're trying to make it super easy for you to find the relevant sample for you to get some inspiration and get started. As you then go to the GitHub, you might be wondering on, hey, wait a minute, how do I actually get started? Or maybe you want to contribute as well. And you might have some questions how to get started on these things. And that's why we have our Sharing is Caring initiative. And David Warner from LA Studios is going to recap what is this all about.
Yes, Vesa live from LA. Thank you, everybody. So what is Sharing is Caring? It is a guidance program. That means that we are going to get on a live Teams call together. We're going to work through some topics like sample contribution. What does that mean? It means we're going to work with GitHub, that hub of Gits, that GitHub hubs. What is it? We're going to figure it out together. You're going to learn how to make a contribution. You're going to learn how to use those contributions, and it counts as a contribution, which is awesome. Also excited that Stephanie and Todd are going to be leaning in and helping out. So you'll see them there at the upcoming session that we just scheduled March 10th. So take a look at that. Go to ak.ms/sharingiscaring. Get it on your calendar. I know a lot of people have been waiting for it. So thank you so much for your patience. Super excited. And we'll have more to come. A lot of more topics as well. Things like responsive Power Apps and component libraries. April Dunham's going to be leaning in, helping out there. We're going to have some fun together. So check it out. ak.ms/sharingiscaring. And by the way, completely safe space, which means that we do not record anything. So you're safe and free to ask any and all questions that you would like without the fear of it going on record. We always think, no one else is asking this question. Should I already know the answer? We second guess ourselves, and it takes away from the opportunity to learn. So let's learn together, have some fun, and check it out. ak.ms/sharingiscaring. Now, once you have contributed, we want to recognize you, and that is where our recognition program comes in. It is alive and well. We've got lots of new badges coming out for 2025. Some of the same old wonderful ones that we're used to and comfortable with. Community contributor, we got Prompt Pro, Snippet Sorcerer, we've got our event specific, so the SharePoint Hackathon, Powerful Devs, Repo Rescuer, the newest modern search. We've got a lot of new ones coming up too, so 100% free. These are live and official and accredited badges from Credly, which means that you can put them on your LinkedIn, associate them to your blog, on your resume, show them to your management, show them to your clients. Why? Because they are real. They show that you are making a difference in the community. And it all comes at the low cost of $0. We cover the cost. We do just need you to opt in just once, though, ak.ms/community/recognition, and we will absolutely track all the amazing contributions and reward you for them. So thank you for all that have done that. If you haven't yet, no time like now. Well, maybe not now, after the call. Yeah, after the call. Okay, back to you, Vesa, in the Finland studios.
Thank you, LA. Helsinki taking over. And yes, do not go there right now because listen to this call and let's get the demos. But I have to call out what April is saying also on the chat, which is the coolest badges in all the land, which is absolutely true. So beautiful work on this, David, who's actually our design lead and coordination lead on the badges as well. So really cool to have more and more badges available for people to gain and get. Now, quick recap on all of the different events which are happening all around the world. Powerful Devs hackathon is happening right now between February 12th to 28th. Started actually last week and goes all the way until next week. Great hackathon. You can actually win prizes in here, money prizes, which is really interesting as well, with your beautiful implementation and design. But it's not just about the winning; it's about the participation and being together with the community and seeing what other people are building within the powerful in the Power platform. So check more from AKMS Powerful Devs, where you can see more details about the hackathon. Then following up on that hackathon, we have SharePoint hackathon happening from March 3rd to 17th. That's from Monday to 2 weeks forward from Monday, where we actually have 4 different categories, and you do not have to be a developer to be able to participate. We actually, one of the categories is just out-of-the-box SharePoint UX design. So how can we build a beautiful UX portals within a SharePoint, and especially now that we have new capabilities available which are rolling out on the SharePoint portal side and pages side, that's a great option to participate as well. So if you're a UX designer, if you're a developer, if you're an architect, if you're an end user, you can participate on a SharePoint hackathon. Please check out more details at AKMS SharePoint Hackathon. Now, on top of this, we have the Microsoft 365 Community Conference coming up on May 6th to 8th at Las Vegas. Great opportunity to meet the Microsoft employees and also other people within the community. On this side of the pond and this side, because I'm in Europe, Helsinki right now, we have the ECS and European Collaboration Summit coming, but this is actually a partnership with 3 different conferences. So European Collaboration Summit, European AI Cloud Summit, and European BizApp Summit happening all 3 at the same time at Düsseldorf, 26th to 28th of May. And we're expecting to have more than 3,000 attendees on this one. So really great opportunity of catching up with latest within the latest with other people in the community as well. Now, on that other side of the pond, we have Seattle, Atlanta, and Dallas coming up starting from June. Great opportunities at TechCon 365, so please check out that one at techcon365.com. Then we have our Power Platform Community Conference coming in October 28th to 13th, 2025 in MGM Las Vegas. Great option as well. And this is beautiful pictures from last year on the background as well. So there's a lot of people in that conference. Great community event. And then we close up the year with ESBC 2024, and that's happening in Dublin the 1st to 4th of December. Now, on top of this, there's a lot of different events happening all around the world. So it's not just about those; it's all of the different events, some of which could be a bit smaller, and you can find all of these events at communitydays.org. So there are events from Germany, there's events in US, there's events in Cameroon, Leipzig, New Zealand, and so on. So a lot of events happening all around the world. So you don't have to travel by plane. Check the events from communitydays.org, and there might be an event happening within your city, and get the latest within the community from there. Now, this week from Microsoft side, we did not have a massive amount of news, like mentioned as we started the call. Quite a few news on Copilot Studio side. Viva Connection, SharePoint keeps on publishing new news as well, and then a few updates on the developer side of the house as well. So that's really cool, and thank you, David, for sharing the links in the chat. Now, before we go to the Together Mode picture, let me actually just a quick recap also on our Copilot prompts. That's a great opportunity of getting involved with the community and contributing how you creating or what are you using the Copilot for. And there's a lot of inspiration within this repository available also from Sample Gallery. So if you're looking into, okay, what are the prompts? What is a prompt? What can I do with Copilot? Please do check out this location at AKMS PMP Prompt Library, where you can find examples. And this week's sample of the week for a prompting is coming, one more kick, from Jonathan Cousins, and this is a strategic mindset agent. So where we actually adjust the Copilot to be a support person or support strategic expert, with specific guidance on the Copilot to actually start to change its behavior based on our needs. And this is a really great example of a prompt or a system prompt which we can use within the Copilot or within our agents to adjust the behavior of the agent and Copilot and based on our needs. So thank you, Jonathan, on sharing this example within the prompt of the weeks and the catalog of prompts at PnP Prompt Library. But cool. Before we then go to the actual stars of today in the demo section, let's do a quick crew photo. We are already sharing in Together Mode picture, and I will put it in here. I will put my camera on as well, if I can fit in. There we go. And let's see if I can actually change the scene. The yellow one is so boring. Let's do the black one. Black chairs this time. So we do have 50 seats in the room. Let's wait a while. My Camtasia is already waiting in here. The scenes are good. And we're still pixel perfect. This is really, really cool. Let's wait a few more seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And there's David. There's two Davids now on the same row, actually. So really good. Let's wait a few more seconds. We do have a few more seats in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I will start recording. So let's do some hand waving, everybody. We are recording. 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Thank you for joining, everybody, on this call. It's awesome to have you here. Awesome to see the community members on a week-by-week basis in these calls. Thank you for joining all around the world. A lot of familiar faces. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Awesome to have you here. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll grab a GIF animation out of that and share that in the social media. So you can find that from the LinkedIn and in X and in Blue Sky as well. If I remember all of the locations properly, let me actually start recording. There we go. Oop, that wasn't the intention. This one was the intention. Let's go in here. So today, we do have two demos, like mentioned, as we started the call. David is going to starting on empowering communities with Copilot Studio, innovation and collaboration, and then we're going to follow with that one on Nayana and Sushank on building Copilot agents with single sign-on. But David, I did saw you on a call. Let's check the audio and screen sharing. If we can get screen sharing is starting, that's good. And we do not hear you at this moment of a time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. So that is all good. We can see the screen. We can hear you. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. One of the things that we look at when we talk about community is that we want to see how we can learn and we can grow in our careers and how we connect to the different set of people that learn the things that we learn, and based on our career, we want to also improve on that. And that is one of the things that made me say, okay, let me do a presentation on this. So this is not really like a technical demo, but just more of like a conversations around why and how we build community around Copilot Studio. So my name is David Abu, and I work with the product and marketing team as a senior PMM for Power Platform and Copilot Studio. And I faced majorly the community itself. So how the community grow with Power Platform and Copilot Studio from a marketing point of view, that is where my work is. And these are the things that we're going to be looking at. Why community as a service? Why do we need to increase this usage of this product? What are our social media engagement ideas? How do we improve on it? What are our community events that we are driving? AI, Copilot Studio, and everything Copilot. And how do we foster community learning and growth? And what are our call to action? Community service is about creating a vibrant, engaged community around Copilot Studio. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to think of a way where to increase collaboration, drive innovation, and accelerate learning. The things that Vesa and David are doing with everything community calls, and how do we improve even on that? How do we build on that success too? And that's something that we are looking at. So by leveraging community power, we are amplifying our impact and creating supportive ecosystem for everyone. And what is now the ways that we are trying to increase this usage, community engagement? So from our own side, or from the work that I do, one of the major things is that we are trying to see how we increase this community engagement around Copilot Studio, around everything Copilot. Now, one also thing that we're trying to see is how we increase or showcase the success stories. So now, what are the success stories of you using Copilot Studio? We want to hear about them. We want to see them. We want to know more about them, and we want to showcase those success stories, and also promoting new features. So when new products are coming in, how do we also promote them? How do we make community have access, easy access to them? That is where we want to use to increase the usage of Copilot Studio. But when we talk about social media engagement, we're looking at a way whereby we have these conversations freely on LinkedIn, on all social media spaces that we are comfortable with. And whenever you make any comment or anything around the things that you find, maybe let's say product feedback, anything, if you can add the hashtag Copilot Studio, hashtag Copilot Studio Agent, that way we can also track those conversations and see what the community is saying. Now, you also know that most of all this social media engagement and on third-party platforms of ours. And so that way, when we see those hashtags, it's easy for us to say, okay, this is the things that these people are saying, and these are the things our users are saying. That way, it's easy for us to track. Engaging community engagement is so important for us, even on our first-party platform. And if you go to our Power Platform Community Forum, those are where you see many conversations that has to do with Power Platform and Copilot Studio. And there are different questions that are being asked and different people that are looking for answers. And there are people that also want to share so many of their ideas around Copilot Studio. Now, you can also even see last 2 weeks, we brought out the list of season 1 super users. These are people who are doing a whole lot for the community. And this is something that we talked about as community as a service. Now, where we see people who are helping all other set of people to improve on their knowledge of Power Platform and Copilot Studio. Now you have this different set of people, a lot of them. This is not all the list, and we have them who are helping us to improve on the engagement around community. So if you are not part of them, I encourage you to also be part of them to help answer questions. These are amazing set of people, and we are grateful for them doing a whole lot of work, answering questions and giving feedbacks. Now, one of the things that makes community very interesting is the opportunity to meet different set of people at every particular period in time. And one of them also right now is the Global Power Platform Bootcamp happening in February. Now we have that happening across 80 locations all over the world, and I'm going to show you that, and that is the real truth. And also we have the Powerful Dev, and we have seen already even the Powerful Dev conversations that has been happening since last week, and also they act together with the brilliant team of April Donham and the marketing team, Dana Winkham. Now you can see this. If you're in these locations, these are the places that you can see a community that is talking about Power Platform. This week, February 21st and February 22nd, you can see them. So if you're in anywhere around this location, these are the list of them. I can also put in the link in the chat for you to see, and maybe you can also connect with all other set of people. So, and it's beautiful, and this is what we call the same community that we are trying to drive. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do this year also is to collaborate with this Power Platform Bootcamp team, where we're having a challenge. And this challenge is basically increasing the adoption or the knowledge of people when it comes to applied skills. And we also noticed that applied skills is helping the community to improve on their knowledge of different parts of Power Platform. And so if you want to, learn more, you can actually join the learning challenge for 2025. It goes for a month, so all through the month of March, you can actually join the challenge, aka.ms/GPUB25 challenge. And you're going to see the different apply skills for you to join. And these are the apply skills. So if you want to understand and manage Canvas app with Power Apps, or you want to look at the Dataverse and Power Apps, or you want to look at the AI side, implementing AI models with Power Platform AI Builder, apply skills, and you have your certificate that you can use to showcase. When you do this, you can actually still post it again on social media to talk about it. And we can also track it also from there. So thank you very much as you join the challenge. Driving community learning and growth is one of our biggest work that we want to do this year. We want to increase the rate at which people learn and want to increase the rate at which we build majorly. And that's some of the plans that we are actually kicking in place as we go on. One of the things that we needed to do first was to understand, how do people access the information when it comes to Copilot? How do people access it? Where do people go to? And one of the things we noticed is that we want to make people have access to it centrally instead of going to different places. And one of the things we did was to do this first. We needed to add Copilot Studio on the free trial. So you now have your Copilot Studio free trial that you can use to test Copilot Studio, the capability of Copilot Studio. Also, again, is that if you go to the resources of Power Platform /resources, I'm going to drop the link later on. You can also see everything around Copilot Studio. So you don't need to have too much of Google search to get all this information. Now, also again, is that when it comes to pricing and licensing, I know that is always a big question. How do we have this? Where do I get this information? We've made sure that we have all this in place for you to be able to do all this. Now, let me just show you a snip of the free trial. So for every product that we have within the Power Platform family, you can get this free trial. Now you now have your Copilot Studio there. So everything is there. You just need to click which one you want to use. And that is one of the things that is good that we're able to do. Now, for the call to action that we are saying today is that we want you to also sign up on our community page, the community.powerplatform.com. We want you to become a user so that hopefully one day you become a super user. That is our major goal, that you become a super user one day. You help others because we know that you have a whole lot of ideas to share with everyone, and we want to see those ideas. We want to see those opportunities. We want to see those collaboration, and we want you also see collaboration within different set of people across the world. I want a day whereby we have someone like Brad. Brad is doing a presentation for somebody in Rwanda. I want to see that type of collaboration. I want to see a collaboration of Danielle doing a presentation for somebody in Japan. Those type of presentation, those type of collaboration are something that we want to see within the community. And lastly, also join the challenge, and we hope to see more of those applied skills being certified. In conclusion, leveraging Copilot Studio and building this strong agentic community can drive engagement, innovation, and growth. Let's work together and create a vibrant community. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Great words and a lot of good reactions on the chat as well. So thank you for that one. And we're all on this together. So we're building a great community for Copilot and Copilot Studio for sure. So thank you, David, for the intro for everybody. Cool. Let's then move to the next demo of today. So we'll transition to the Copilot. We're also going to keep on talking about the Copilot, and this time we're going to move to a technical demo where we're going to talk about single sign-on on the Copilot agents with Nayana and Sushank.
Thank you, Isa. Let me share my screen. Yeah.
Excellent.
Let me know once you're seeing my presentation.
Yep, we can see the screen. Audio is good. Take it away.
Thank you, and good morning and good evening, everyone. In this session today, along with me is my teammate and colleague Sushank. We will be showing you how to enable single sign-on in the Copilot agents for the API plugin. The agenda is quite packed, so let's get started. Here first we will give you the basics of declarative agents and how it is built and the package components, and a quick demo of API plugin without auth and the one once we add the single sign-on. So let's get started.
Yeah, thanks, Anna, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So let's start with the Copilot, and welcome to the world of this Copilot and its agents. So given the Microsoft M365 Copilot, what are the options available for end customers and its users? We can do three things with this. Either we can adopt it, extend it, and build it. By adopt it means like what are the by default out of the box features given by the M365 Copilot. We can go directly and use that, and that requires some sort of like training, get habitual of that. And also there are many by default intelligent agents are already provided out of the box, which can directly go and test, and that will give us like a glimpse or idea what else we can do with this M365 Copilot. Given that, like next thing we can do, like not only want to adopt, like, and then we only want to extend it. Extend it in the means like based on the users need or organization need, we can add more capabilities to this Copilot. So we can build like this Copilot is by in itself is a platform. Once we start using it, we can build an agents on top of that. So what are agents in this scenario? Like agents in M365 Copilot are AI assistant, which helps us to perform tasks in some specific domains. And given that, like for example, how agents can work, it can connect to our organization data and the knowledge sources. It can automate repetitive tasks. It can also like resolves like any complex conversation going on between the user and the agent, and it can helps us to simplify our workflow and make more productive. So these are the two ways like the agents available in the Copilot platform. One is the declarative agent, one is the custom engine agent. So yep. So given these two type of agents, what are the differences? Like if we want to use the out of the box infrastructure like the orchestration tool, LLM, or the AI intelligence, then we should go for the declarative agents. Here we don't worry about the security, scalability, or the infrastructure. Just bring your data, bring your knowledge sources, and see what actions you want to perform, what tasks you want to perform. Then build a declarative agent. But if you want need more customization, like if you don't want to use by default orchestration AI, if you want to build your own like LLM or some AI orchestration tool, then we should go for these custom engine agents. And to build this any type of agents, either declarative or the custom engine agents, we have the tools available for us are the Copilot Studio and the Visual Studio Code. Copilot Studio is a low code approach, and if you want to go for the pro code, Visual Studio Code is there. So in today's session, we are focusing on the Visual Studio Code using the pro code. So coming to declarative agents, like now we have figured out a scenario and we want to build a agent which can cater some user's requirement or to perform some tasks. Two options are available. Either we can do by connectors or other second way we can do the plugins. Our differences are that like if we have the knowledge sources or if we have information enterprises data in some graph connector or some in on some underlying data sources that can bring through the connectors. But if you have want to not to only want to get information, if you want to perform more actions, and we have data in the external services, like so, like we have already some organization and multiple services, and that through the REST API. So if you want to bring that data, extend the data to the Copilot, which are under the REST API, that then you can build the plugins for this and bring that information, the real-time data to the Copilot agents. So given that, like, let's have a see, like in a real demo, like what's the plugin based Copilot agent is there. So here we have the Copilot, and there we have installed one agent there that is called Teams Tenant SSA demo, and we have just a simple query like show me the profile information. So there is a REST API which gives the user information. Once we invoke this query, it first asks for the consent for user consent. There we see the letter behind this consent. There is SSO is enabled, which keeps up the authentication process. Once we give the consent, and this shows the user information. Like this is all coming from the API. So this is like the overall. So if you see in the next, like how this behind the scene, what's going on in the plugin based API agent. So once the user put the query through the Copilot agent, it's through the UI, M365 Copilot UI, it goes to the our Copilot, and there can be multiple plugins like already installed in the Copilot. So based on the user query, Copilot intelligence decides which plugin to call. Internally it's have the intelligence which keeps up the mapping like, okay, these are the queries coming, so this query best matches for this plugin, and it calls the required plugin, and that plugin calls the like underlying API to get the data from the third party sources or the external services. So next we'll see like but now let's see how we can build this plugin. So if you want to build this plugin, we need required, like if you follow the Procode approach. So if you go to the Procode approach, there is a extension available in the Visual Studio Code, which is called Themes Toolkit. We can install it. Once the extension we install it, just click on that, go to the here Copilot extension, and then choose the API Declarative Copilot. And there are two options showing no plugin or add plugin. If you create a no plugin, it's just a knowledge-based declarative agent. Like we can bring the data through the connector. But if you go to the add plugin, it asks us some information like because here in the plugin based it follows the open API specs, which is the open source format similar to the Swagger. Like give the proper description of the API. Then we select one of these options. Then once we select it, it creates a package, like creates a folder. And we just choose the where you want to create this package, and this it will create by this some files in your code. So these are the high level like these are the package created by this Teams toolkit if we select the API based plugin agent. First is the like the you can say manifest file, which is the entry file for any apps in the Teams or any agent. Here in this just a high level overview, what's your agent's name is there, and then it's have the description link of this Copilot extension. Like it refers have the references of this declarative Copilot. Then we go to the declarative Copilot and JSON file. There we provide some like instructions. Like instructions like what you want to do with this agent, what type of tasks it can perform. Here we define the persona or behavior of your agents. And there here we also add the capabilities and the actions. Capabilities like if some bring the data to some knowledge sources that you can add under capability. If we are calling the any API plugin, then we need to add under actions sections. So here this JSON file declarative have the reference of the AI plugin JSON. Then we go to the AI plugin JSON. This is the most like the if we are creating declarative Copilot using API plugin, then this file will be generated. If it is not, then this file is optional. It will not generate it. Only to manifest and the declarative Copilot JSON is required. So coming to this AI plugin JSON file, here we will see all the functions this plugin can call. So all the underlying API. Now suppose our API has multiple functions like the get, put, update, or post. The multiple functions is there. All that description we need to provide here. Also the what type of inputs is taking, what type of output it can give. And also in if you see in the here runtime, like the runtime we provide like it has that all the functions. If you see the function for functions, it gives all the functions that in this plugin can call. Plus it has also the references of this API specific OpenAI YML file, which have the information of like what are the URLs like the API URL and all the details. Like if you see here, these are our server URL where our API is already hosted, and these are the paths of our different functions. Like one we have like use only one function. So this is the get user details. Suppose there is update user details or delete user details. Then there will be multiple sections in this path. And coming to API, API plugin addition, there is also the like we have the API, but we also want to secure API. We don't want to open use it by any external sources. So for the security purpose, we need to do authentication. We need to enable SSO. That we do, and this API file will see soon how we can do enable that. Yeah. So coming to that, like this is overall in yep, this is the overall like we just seen. This is the overall different components package in our plug creating a in plugin based API agents. Now let's see how we can enable SSO.
All right, so let's dive into some hands-on quickly. Before that, just the 2 cents of SSO. Single sign-on is an authentication method which enables us to log in to the application once and then access multiple applications. So here, what are the benefits of this, right? So it is very convenient. You don't have to remember multiple credentials of to logging into multiple applications. You just log in once, consent for the first time, and subsequent request will not ask for login or the consent, and you can access the multiple application unless you uninstall and install it, right? And it reduces the risk where the security breach can happen due to the password leakage. Now let us see uh, in diagram, right? If you see, the user tries to log in and the SSO is integrated with the Copilot. Once it gets authenticated using standard identity provider, in this case Azure AD, Azure Active Directory, and here you can see the consent is asked for once by, and user gives the consent, and once the consent is given, the users will be able to access email, calendar, cloud storage, any other services through which the SSO for which the SSO is enabled. Now we will quickly go through how to configure the SSO for the Copilot agents. So for the first step, I will quickly walk through the steps once. Yep. So the first step is create the web app service to deploy the code. And second is create an app registration in Microsoft Entra portal. The third step is Teams developer portal has the new section to register the SSO for Copilot agents, which we will walk you through. And in the step 4, once we register in step 3, we will get two IDs, registration ID and the app URI ID. We have to note it down and come back and modify the app registration, the audience, and the reference ID. So let me let me go through the first step. This is the web app. It is a demo tenant, and I've already created the web app service and deployed the code. Here, the one thing to note down is this default domain part. So the second step is the app registration. We'll quickly go ahead and create a new app registration. SSO demo tenant API. All right. Then I'm creating for single tenant. Add a redirect URI. I've already put it here for my reference. I will copy from here and add this redirect URI and just click register. So now the app registration is created, right? Now the third step is go to the developer portal, Teams, devteams.microsoft.com. Here under tools section, a new section is being created, Microsoft Entra SSO client registration. Select that, and now we will have to register the newly created app registration. So let's get started. SSO demo API plugin. I am just naming this. You can give any meaningful name. And the base URL is the one, the default domain from the web app service, and just append it, prefix it with the HTTPS, and there you go. This is select my organization only, any Teams app, and this client ID is the one from the app registration which we just created. So I'll copy this and put it here. So save it, and once you save it, you will see that you will get a reference ID and the app ID URI. So we will now go and add this and configure this in the app registration. To begin with, this is the app ID URI. So I'm copying this, go to the app registration which we just created, and go to uh, expose API, expose an API section, select add, and add the app ID URI. This will be the audience for which the Copilot will generate the token. So save this, and then we need to add a scope. So I will name it as access as user and admins only. Read API. Just I'm giving quickly. You can give any description here and put it in the enabled state and add the scope. Then next is we have added this app ID URI ID, but now we need to give the Copilot a permission to generate the token for our app. So how do we do that? We have to add the Copilot's app ID. That is, we are pre-consenting the Copilot's app ID to generate the token for us. And here, yeah, I have already put the app ID here, and I'll copy that. Okay, and select the scope and add application. So this is done. One more step is pending, is when we create the app registration, by default, the graph permission gets added. So we need to grant permission, grant admin consent for it. Otherwise, the SSO will not work. So since I have logged in through the admin account for this demo tenant, I have the option to grant it, and you can see that it shows status granted. So this has to be whatever permissions you add here, it has to be in the granted state for the SSO to work. This is very important. And next, we have configured everything in the app registration. The next thing is we saw the AI plugin package, right? So in the AI plugin package, we earlier saw that the auth was showing as none. Now the reference ID which we get from the developer portal. Sorry. Okay, I'll go back to that later. So here, add this type, the auth type as OAuth plugin vault, and the reference ID which we got from the developer portal, just copy paste it here. So this is the configuration required for SSO. Now this package files which we created from the Teams toolkit, we have retrieved it because we wanted to do some custom modifications, and we have placed it in a different folder, and we have modified it. So this is the configuration in the app package. There is one more thing that we need to do, that is in the code, in the configuration file, in the Azure AD section, you need to add the audience. This audience is same as the application URI ID which we added in the app registration. So when the Copilot sends the token to your app, then you will validate that token against this audience to ensure that it is secure, and then perform the next set of operations. So this completes the configuration of SSO. And now when you zip this package, so for any Copilot agent, these files will be present. And AI plugin and OpenAPI YAML will always be optional. It only appears if you have added the API-based declarative agent. So you zip this file and then upload on Teams. And when you upload it, it will appear on the right trail in the Copilot window. Uh, in the interest of time, I have already uploaded that and I can see this here, right? So let us do a quick live demo. I will select this and this, and I am saying allow once. All right, so I have got the details of the user, the name, email, whatever I'm sending back from the code. So this is how SSO is configured and how we get the information. Now the SSO token which generated sends the audience as your app registrations ID, right? If you want to perform any downstream operations or call any third-party APIs or any other API, then you will have to go through one more step of generating an on behalf of token, giving the scope of that particular resource and get the new user token and then proceed with calling that API. So now to summarize it, yeah, one more thing is when you upload the package, for the first time, you will get the sign in button. And then after that onwards, you will not be getting this. Also, if you are the admin for the tenant, then you might not see this sign in button because by default, it would have been consented. So just to summarize the steps, first create the web app, deploy the code, and create an app registration. Note down the client ID, tenant ID, and in the Teams developer portal, go ahead and then register this. After that, add the audience in the code, add the app URI ID, and update the AI plugin.json with the reference ID. Yeah, this is how we configure the SSO for the agents.
Excellent. Really, really cool. Great demo and great walkthrough on the different features and capabilities. That is, there's quite a few of technical things, but they all make sense. There's a reason why we need to grant those things and go through the permissions and everything else. But really, really cool. Great presentation and demo for both Sushank and Nayana. So thank you for that.
Thank
Good.
you.
Let me get back on the slides and just a kind of a reminder there, the Copilot camp is a really, really awesome resource. And also Bob shared a link in the chat also related on where step-by-step guidance can be actually found. So all of that, but really, really cool to get this covered also in a video format because seeing things and steps is super, super important. But right on the schedule, I think it's time to start closing up. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nayana. Thank you, Sushank. Really, really cool demos of the day. If there's any questions, please use the chat. We do have quite a few people in the call, so we can't really go to the audio. I do apologize on that one, Hagen. I can see that on the hand up on the chat. But next week, we will have 3 demos. Well, the third one is a relatively quick one. But first of all, on 25th of February, so a week from now, Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, when this call always happens, we'll have Mark Windel and Steve Puselik talking about finding your content in SharePoint Embedded. So they're going to talk about what is SharePoint Embedded, and then how do you find the content which is in the SharePoint Embedded containers, and what does that all mean? It is quite important to understand what is a SharePoint Embedded versus SharePoint Online, and even the integrations to Power Platform and all of that. Now, Fabian is going to talk about unlocking the power of Microsoft 365 data in Copilot agent plugins. So this is a new capability which he's been actually creating on, and he was celebrating it to go as a first version out last week in LinkedIn as well. So they're calling it CAPS, as in Copilot agent plugins. So more details on that one obviously next Tuesday from Fabian. And then I'm going to do a quick preview on the SharePoint Framework 1.21. Not a massive amount of changes on that upcoming feature version or minor version, but it's good to be aware of what's coming, and that's addressing some of the requirements improvements which we have, for example, for flexible layouts with SharePoint framework for SharePoint online portals. But that's it for now. For these, in the meanwhile, please join us on the LinkedIn, no, not in LinkedIn, in Discord server for discussions. A great option to engage with the community. If you are hanging already in the Discord, it's good to know that this option is available for you as well, on top of all of the other forums to engage with the community. We're always also looking for feedback around these community calls, so please fill in the form. And this doesn't take too long, but it has a really big impact on showcasing our leadership, the value of this course as well, so we can keep on doing this in the future. AKMS community calls feedback. But that's it for today. Thank you one more time for the presenters. Great demos for today. Great balance between non-technical and a technical thing, which is something what we want to do as well. So it's not just about technology, and it's not just about the non-technical stuff as well. Somewhere in there, there's the right balance of things. The recording will be available within the YouTube channel in 24 hours. Typically, quick faster than that, but 24 hours gives us some flexibility on the publishing. Follow us on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Twitter, or X for the updates, so you'll know whenever the video is also available. And the next call, like mentioned, is coming on February 25th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and you can download all of the calls at AKMS Community Calls. But that's it for today. Thank you everybody for joining. Looking forward to engage and seeing you here in the future as well. And let's stay in touch. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.